Greetings, geeks, and welcome to another Wizards Hall video. I'm Adam,
And I'm Mike.
and we both went to some shows this weekend. That's right. Mike presenting me first time out to a first time show. It was kind of neat. But Mike, tell us a little bit about your experience. You've been out promoting Armored, you've been to a couple shows already, but what was this one like?
This one was called the Gotham Central Summer Comic Bash. And so Gotham Central is a huge comic book store outside of Toronto in an area called Mississauga. It's like a suburb of Toronto or something. I don't know. So it's this huge store. It's really cool. The owner Carlos is so awesome. And he puts, I guess this is the third year they've done it. Where they set up a tent outside the store where it's all local artists, writers, craft makers, action figure creators, just kind of set outside with a booth or tables. And I was fortunate enough to be invited to come, and I had a table there where I was promoting Armored. I had some, Kickstarter exclusive copies that I was selling. Yeah, and I got to meet lots of comic book fans who some had heard of Armored, some hadn't yet, and lots of people were buying it. So yeah, it was great. I got to meet other creators, which was really, really cool. And I'll show you some of the stuff I got when we get into it. But yeah, that was my experience. So it
Yeah, and it
wasn't a
was
con.
yeah, Father's Day
It was
weekend though, right? So you had your kids with you,
yeah,
right?
I did on the one day. It was a 2-day event, and I had them on the Sunday. I was making them uh, try to sell books for
That's what I
me.
was
They
gonna
didn't do
say.
a
Did
good
they
job
help you
though.
move anymore? Were they selling the other
No,
kids on it? You gotta check this out. It's awesome.
no, they did a terrible job. My wife helped me though. She sold the few.
Nice. Sweet.
Yeah. But yeah, it was really cool. And anyone that's in the Toronto area should definitely check out Gotham.
Yeah, that sounds like a
Yeah.
good show. Now, mine was a much smaller event. I think this is first time out. We have a gaming store in town,
Okay.
and basically the guy who owns that decided to organize like a mini con. The emphasis was mainly on gaming, like tabletop gaming, card games, Pokemon, Magic the Gathering, all that kind of stuff. But then, we have comic book stores in town, so one of them decided to set up. That's obviously where I got my haul for today, so I was
Yep,
excited
yep.
about that. But my kids had never. I go to this thing called RetroCon as often as I can. It's on the East Coast in Pennsylvania, and it's great. My youngest and my middle, which is my daughter, like they've always heard about it, but they've never been able to go. I finally got to take my oldest son last year, so I was like, "We're going to go to a thing. It's like RetroCon." They're like, "Oh, we get to go to a con," and so like they were just loving it. They dressed up like my son was a Ghostbuster, my daughter was the Stay Puffed Marshmallow Girl. A lot of
Oh, that's
people were, "Oh,
awesome.
you're so cute." So they loved it. But yeah, it was mostly fantasy stuff. So a lot of like, crystal crafts and like dragons and weaponry and then like anime. Then it was all like anime swords, like the giant like video game swords from Final Fantasy or whatever else, like
That's
just a lot
awesome.
of stuff like that. But then like there was an 80s 90s retro store that set up as well, so I got to find some cool stuff there. But yeah, so interesting experiences going to these cons, but we want to find out what we picked up. So Mike,
Mhm.
what do you got in your pile? What was out there?
Okay, so let me okay, so there's a few things. So I got to meet some creators. There was a ton of people there. I just realized I don't have everything with me. I have a few things, so I'll just show you what I have here. Okay, so I was sitting next to this guy named Sam Noir, who everyone in Toronto seems to know. He has been doing this for years. He's now a writer, but he used to be an artist, but he's started to lose his eyesight. But he wrote this comic that was pretty cool because it's all augmented reality. Like it has an app to it. I haven't downloaded the app yet, but he was showing me at the con where like characters will wave at you. It's it's
Wow.
it's wild. Like, and it's got really nice looking art in here. I think it came out a few years ago. Yeah, 2020. But he's the writer of it. Looks pretty wild, looks kind of horrific. I haven't read it yet, so I'll definitely have to give it a read. But the augmented reality got me. So if you ever see Sam Noir, pick up his 3D or augmented reality books.
I was just gonna say this is the 21st century gimmick comic now, right?
Yeah, a little bit, a little bit. Okay, so the other thing I picked up from a creator. So these I met Steve Bino, I think is how you say his name. I apologize, Steve, if that's not how you say your name. And I think it was Peter Van Horn was the other writer, the co-writers of this new series, which they kickstarted called Atrium. Um, and we did a swap. All of us were doing swaps. You know, you like trade. Here's an Armored for some Atrium. Um, but they were really, really cool guys. And I've read issue 1 and 2, so we're gonna do a review later, Adam. I'll talk about it there, but the art is stunning in these books, really cool. So if you ever see, I think you can buy it on their website. I'll again, it'll be in our review. I'll tell you in the review. Then I had some Instagram fans. Many of you know I also run an Instagram account called 50 Cent Comic Collector, and two guys showed up from that I've been friends with on there for years. Specialtus and Redo Foil Fan, who I know watches our YouTube videos. He's probably watching right now. So Red, if you're watching, hey and thank you. But Specialtus showed up with a few gifts. So he gifted me this book. It's the first issue of Echo of Future Past. Have you heard of this, Adam?
No, is that Continuity Comics? That's a Neil Adams
It's a
production?
continuity comic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I've been wanting this for a while. It's been on my want list. And the significance of this issue, Adam, is it's the first appearance of Bucky O'Hare.
Whoa!
Yes. Yeah, and it is gorgeous. Written by Larry Hama. Beautiful stuff. Anyways, thanks to Specialist for this. He also knows I'm a big horror fan, so he gave me this DC Ghost Castle book with it's the first issue of the
Is that a
series.
ghost mushroom?
I think so. Ghost Mushroom. And then this, I feel like I've heard of it before, but I also collect cartoon comics and those Star comics. And it is the Hug-a-Bunch.
Let me show you this. I also have it on VHS. The Hug-a-Bunch live action
Okay.
movie from the 80s. This is my
Was it
bootleg DVD.
was it a series? Was it a cartoon series
No,
too?
no. Well, so it was toys, kind of like a ripoff of Cabbage Patch Kids. And then they made this movie to promote it. But there was never a cartoon series. They only had like storybook tapes, I think, where they just like talked over, pages from a book. So, yeah.
Players. Okay, Adam, you're gonna love this. He also, so Bryden's his name. I call him Special. That's his handle. Okay, so he gifted me this poster too.
I'm already seeing. Oh my goodness. No way.
Is that not amazing?
That's awesome. I didn't know that existed.
Yeah, neither did I. I was blown away. I was like, "What? Are you sure about this?" So, yeah, this is great. So everyone head over to Instagram and follow Specialtus.
That's right.
Uh, yeah, and then the last two things is what I bought from the shop. I'm trying to grab as many issues of Geiger as I can. They have these dollar issues. I haven't been able to find it, and so the shop had tons of copies. It's just the first issue of Geiger reprinted. And then this is a David Mack cover. Have you heard of this series, Adam?
No.
It's written by Comic Tom 101 and Ryan Sargent, who's on Comic Tom, and the artwork is by Ben Templesmith, who you'd remember from 30 Days of Night.
Mm-hmm.
But Mac has done two covers for them, and I've been getting the series. I just was missing issue 4, and it's pretty cool. It's got like an alien vibe to it.
Oh, okay.
So it's really cool, and I finally got it. And Ryan actually provided me this a great quote for Armored, but like just check out some of the gore in this. It's great. Yeah, it's awesome.
Great.
Anyways, that was my haul for the show. I was mostly selling books of Armored, so I didn't get a ton of shopping in, but that's what I got.
That's great. No, that's awesome that you get the newer stuff and get to meet your fellow creators. So,
Yeah,
I definitely was going back to the old days here. Like I said, I'm walking around this con and I just see there were like 10, 12 long boxes on these two card tables. And I'm just like, when do I get over there? I had to walk my kids around for like 30, 40 minutes to see all the booths, to buy their toys, to get whatever they wanted. And then, okay, guys, you're good. Here's your snack. Sit down here. Dad's gonna go through the vlog boxes here. And I did share on social media as a little bit of tease for this video. One of the first things I saw was a sealed copy of Wizard 33. If you look behind me, you can just barely see it right here. This is the poster, the promotional poster for that issue, Jim Ballant, Catwoman. But I was just so excited to
nice.
finally have this. In a sealed form. We have mostly loose copies. That's just what I'll say. When we started the show all those years ago, our goal was to get the first 50 issues, and we just needed to get them as quickly as we could. So a
Yeah.
lot of what we were buying were just loose copies, lots of loose copies. So now to start, getting sealed copies, now that we've covered everything that's inside, which is mostly what we're interested in, is
And newsstand. That was a
yeah,
newsstand, was it not?
a newsstand edition. Yep, it's got that barcode on it. But speaking of those inserts and things like that, uh, we don't have a lot of them because we didn't buy the bagged issues. Sometimes they shove them inside the people who had them originally, but this was one that we needed. So this was a Ghost in the Shell mini comic that was inserted.
What
Okay.
issue is that from?
I don't even know. I've been trying to go back because I have a spreadsheet that says what came with everything. So once this video's done, I'm gonna look it up and then shove it into the issue and put it in the archive so it's there. But it was pretty early on. Also this one here, this Spider-Man mini comic. So right after issue 50, they started doing these mini comics. So I think there were like 5 or 6 of them. There might have been more, but basically like they numbered them, which was
I
nice.
know. I think my dad has all the mini comics in his collection because I don't have any of them, and I'm pretty sure he kept them.
Now, this one, I think this might have come with like
Oh,
Hero Illustrated or something, but I'm gonna have to look. I don't remember this coming in an issue of Wizard, but I'm gonna check it out because it doesn't have like Wizard logo or anything on
is
it.
it an ash can? It looks like an ash can.
Yeah, I
Is
mean
it?
it's a Dark Horse ash can, so
So it's probably Hero because they did a lot of those.
that was my thought. Now, I'm a sucker for licensed comics as well, Mike. You said hug a bunch. I grabbed a bunch of licensed comics from the 80s and 90s. First one up here though, Slimer.
Slimer.
Now
Yep.
comics. I love these things. This is a
I've got the whole collection, Adam. Found them
really
in a 25-cent bin, the entire run.
oh Slimer. This is one though that I've been hunting because I managed to find in various different shops like the different issues of Street Sharks. But this is
Oh,
issue number 1. So now I've completed the series. So I'm excited.
nice.
It wasn't that many issues. What was it? 4? Oh, 3. Only 3. Yeah. So got that.
Cool.
This is a show that I loved back in the day, so I had to grab these. I've seen it before and passed them up, but James Bond Jr., baby. This one, I don't know why they put a sticker on that. I'm gonna have to see if I can carefully remove.
No, that's not coming off.
Yeah, I didn't even
Hair blower.
realize.
Hair blower. That's
Yeah, just heat it up there. This was cool. I always see the
okay.
first issue of Double Dragon, and I
Yeah,
have like 2 copies. This is the final issue of the Double Dragon comics. This is issue number 6.
cool.
So, how does the saga end? I have to.
Yeah.
Of course, anything to do with Wizard, got to grab it. So here's another issue of Gatecrasher, Black Bull Comics. I'll have the whole series eventually. More to come on that. Midnight Nation number 1,
Yeah.
just because I know that Wizard releases a half issue. And then when I posted just the corner boxes on Instagram, Philip Seavey, our recent guest on our episode 93 and the half episode, he's like, that's my favorite series ever. He's like, you probably should have bought more issues. I was like, oh yeah, I only
I
bought
was talking
5.
I was talking to Sam Noir about that as well, just this weekend. Weird. I have a different cover to that number one.
Oh, I'm sure there were like 5 or 6 of them.
Okay.
I'm sure
Yeah.
yeah. Because I always have to buy it when I see it. One of my childhood favorites, the Ray. So I gotta have Ray
It's
number
a
1.
it's a newsstand as well, I noticed.
Yep, got the
So
barcode there.
there you
Yep.
go.
Oh yeah, my framed one is not. My framed one
There
is
you
the
go.
correct, yeah, edition. So now I have a very, there we go. And this is one that's upcoming for a special we're going to be doing, but Wildcats #0, because
Ooh,
we just had a loose copy of the special, but it came packed with this. So
I need
Travis
that.
Charest for all you
Yeah.
lovers of his work. Now, after that show, there's another store in the mall where I usually buy like, random comics when I can. So where I got the Street Sharks originally. They just moved their location to a bigger spot in the mall, and he's been telling me for months. He's like, dude, I got like 20,000 comics. I got a whole like storage unit that's filled up, and I'm just trying to get them in slowly. It just takes forever to price them. I'm like, well, move faster. I thought you were gonna be at the show and bring them all with you. And he's like, no, no, no. So anyway, so I went in yesterday and I found some great stuff, new stuff he hadn't had. And so again, some more Wizard mini comics. So
Nice.
the Ash comic, we got a Vampirella. A lot of people are like, I've had these things for years just sitting in my long box. I'm like, I know, I know. Uh More Black Bull, just a Pilgrim #1, but I think this is
Yeah,
a second mini series because I have the
not
original
the
number
first.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got that one too, thinking it was the first.
Yeah. Uh, Now this is cool. So something you didn't mention was one of the people you met at a show uh was working on this book. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
We've been talking a lot about Dreamwave on the show, controversial end, controversial creator behind it, but everybody says, but I loved their Transformers book. That's what I keep hearing over and over again. It's a shame how it ended, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but I want to read it. I want to find out why you guys love it so much. So this is number
I it's
one.
fantastic. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's the Pat Lee one. I did not meet Pat Lee. I
No,
met
right.
yes. Yes.
You don't want to say his name?
Yeah, I'm just don't want to butcher it. Is it would
Oh,
it's not is it James or would it be like
I think it's James.
James,
Yeah,
yeah, James Reyes.
yeah,
Yeah. I met him. He was super nice. And we've talked about having him come on the podcast.
yeah. So maybe down
Um,
the line we'll talk to him now. He's not in the credits on that particular issue, just because I guess it was he maybe came in a little bit later, but so I'll keep
yeah,
it.
I think he came in a bit later. He worked on the Turtles book, I think he was saying.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I'll post a photo in my stories on my Instagram page on Mike Schwartz Writes of me and him, and he held up the gatefold cover to one of his Transformers issues. It's insane. He had all the original not all of them obviously, but a lot of original pages, and I was like, oh, I remember buying this off the shelf. I remember buying this one off the shelf.
Yeah.
Turns out I
So
was a huge fan. Didn't realize it.
yeah, you sent me that picture. I'm like, whoa, this is cool. Like that'd be awesome to talk to him. Now, my last piece here is just very current for what we've been posting on our social media. Every once in a while, if I have a full run of a series, I will put all the covers together. I'll show everybody everything in the series. Well, I did that for Mutant X because we were talking about that on episode 93. And then I realized, oh, I'm missing issue 20. I thought I had the whole run, but I'm missing issue 20 for some reason. So at that shop yesterday, all of a sudden I start seeing Mutant X in there. I'm like, wait, what? What? And so everywhere I was looking, he would have like 5 issues here, 5 issues here. And I'm like, it's not, where's 20? Where's 20? And I finally found it. So now my Mutant X run is complete. So there we go. Mission accomplished.
Biggest fan of Mutant X right here.
Oh, it's gonna be interesting as I get through the rest of the series because when I posted that video of the covers, so people were like, "Yeah, it was great," until it wasn't. At the end, when Becky ran out of steam, I'll see
I
if I
like
feel the same way.
those first 5 issues are great. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, so yeah, those are our hauls for now. Surely we will be back with more to share. But speaking of being back, we want you to come back because this Thursday we are going to be doing just a special edition of our Wizards Wednesday Rewind show. Previously we had everybody voting on social media for what 2 new issues that you wanted us to pick up in the shop so we would review them. You broke us like financially. You made us buy the most expensive issues. We needed a break. We will be coming back in July with regular issues, but it didn't mean that we stopped going to the comic shop. Mike got me hooked on new comics. And so there were a few that I had to go in and check up on to see if there was new issues. That's what we're going to be talking about. It's going to be our host choice episode before we let you guys vote again shortly. So stay tuned, stay subscribed here, but also find us on social media at Wizards Comics, at Wizards_Comics on Instagram. And of course, if you want almost 280 episodes of the podcast, you can go over to wizardscomics.com and stream the full archive, or, just go ahead and subscribe on your favorite podcast app. But until next time, keep your books bagged and boarded.